everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Professor Joy podcast. Please remember that you can join us on Apple, on Google Play, we're on YouTube Live, we are on all social media. And thank goodness we have our social media person here, Steffi. Hi, Steffi.
Hello.
And we have, of course, the creator, the mind, the genius, the legend behind the JoyScore app, Professor Joy.
Thank you so much.
That's very nice to see you.
Thank you.
And as excited as I always am to be here, and I'm Gary Metzger, by the way, I'm always happy to be here and excited to surprise you with the topic. I'm afraid that the topic that I have today, you may fall out of your chair.
Whoa.
So I want to make sure that you're holding on to both arms of your chair, because when I found this topic, I said, this is unbelievable. Because when this article came out as compared to when you started the JoyScore app, it just shows how far ahead of your time that you really were.
Oh, thank you.
And it's amazing. And yes, and that was a compliment. Because I give Professor Joy a compliment every single day. But before I get to this unbelievable article, we have to talk about the recently transpired Democratic National Convention and their use of the word joy. Please, Professor Joy.
When I'm obviously very excited. I saw a lot of the DNC presentations and stuff like that, and the more I saw, the more I felt they stole the word joy from JoyScore. I mean, so I complained to a friend of mine. He says, sue him. And then the most profound way of saying joy was Oprah. Joy!
I hope we have that video that we can put into
yeah. I mean, and I like Oprah. I mean, she, in fact, the three of the most beautiful speeches were Oprah, Clinton, and Obama. And they all emphasized the word joy. I said, guys, this is part of JoyScore you're using,
Yes.
I've been dealing with this for years, and now all of a sudden you pick it up.
And let's not forget Reverend Al Sharpton.
Oh my God!
He said joy, 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 joy.
So
I think
many
he said
times,
it a dozen times.
I think he said it the most.
Yes, absolutely.
And so, but on one hand, it was interesting to see them all grab onto this concept of joy. And I said, okay, if they are about joy, what is Donald Trump about? So I kind of did a little research, and I realized he's known for being a very dark person. And like Bill Clinton said, don't listen to how many lies he tells. Just listen to how many I's he says. It's always I. The guy, he said for 9 years he's been complaining and bitching and moaning and all worried about me, I. So he's about nothing except I. In fact, in contrast, now I obviously like people on the Democratic side and not so much on Republican, but I mean, Donald Trump, in my opinion, is a worthless character. He should never have been in White House, and he should never go back again, because he's a disaster.
I mean, in actuality, he did lose the popular vote.
Yeah, he did. So, and he still doesn't believe it.
Right.
He'll never. In fact, he's been telling people, you don't have to vote again because I have all the votes.
Yes.
And you don't have to have elections anymore because I'll be the dictator.
Scary. Yeah.
But the point of it is that, in contrast to Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, when she said, look, all my life I have been in courts as a prosecutor and public defender, and I have always said 5 words. And these are the most beautiful words I think that I heard. She said, I always said, Your Honor, I am here for the people. So, I mean, I said, this lady, he has dedicated her life for people. And this other idiot is all about me and I. I mean, how do you compare the two? There is no comparison. One is talking about joy, one is talking about darkness, you know. So anyway, this is my unbelievable realization of how joy I have been pursuing and talking about finally is in the air. And I was telling to my team, I said, we got to be able to find a way to grab it from the air, you know.
Yes.
With all these people, you know, write to them, send emails, whatever.
Right.
Because they are plagiarizing word joy from JoyScore. Joy.
I wonder if you would talk about one other thing from the convention, and that is how Obama and Clinton were comparing, we're talking about Trump and crowd size.
Crowd size. No, the crowd size. Obama said crowd size. He has this thing about crowd size because, you know, all the crowd sizes Trump has are smaller, but he claimed that they're biggest ever been.
Right.
He was even comparing to the crowd size of the, I forget the name of the gathering they had, but he compares to everybody, but he's not, he's terrible.
That was very funny,
Yeah.
though.
But anyway, this DNC was really good. I like it. You know, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And the word joy finally is everywhere, and I think we
It's
can
in the
help.
headlines of all the major
Yeah,
newspapers
we can
as
help
well.
them with joy
Yes.
because we are the joy.
Yes. Yes. All right, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Are you sitting down?
Uh-huh.
Steffi, are you sitting down?
Holding on.
You're holding on. So I found an article from Forbes magazine.
Okay.
Okay. And one of the things that we have discussed is we should talk about the healthcare industry.
Right.
Interestingly enough, let me read this headline to you, okay? Because, like I said, you may fall off your chair when you hear this. You ready?
Yep.
Joy is the next frontier of precision medicine.
Oh my God.
Really? My God.
This is a whole article
On
about
that.
joy.
Oh my God.
Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Medical entrepreneurs and precision medicine researchers are asking a surprising question. Hold on. Can we measure joy? My hand to God. Can we measure? How long have we been doing this?
You know, this is something I have been asked before.
That is
He said,
killer.
how did you figure out that you can measure joy?
Yeah.
You know, I said, we have a way, we have a system, we have an app, you
But
know.
in their research for the article, shouldn't our stuff have come up?
Yeah, it should have.
Yeah.
It absolutely should have.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can we measure joy?
Wow. They're getting a press release.
Now, you know, in support of that, now I have been saying it for a long time, that the simplest thing people can learn to do is keep their joy score up. Just one thing. You know, I mean, obviously we have found relevance between joy score and credit score and health score and everything in life. And the fact of the, in fact, during pandemic, our PhDs found that there's a relevance between joy score and immunity. So I said, we have a solution to fight pandemic because all it needs is good immunity in your body and you can fight it. Unbelievable.
And we have articles and videos
Yeah.
and blogs to
Everything.
support all of this.
Yeah.
And now just the healthcare industry is just starting to get into it.
So this is how old is this article?
This is from June of 2023.
Oh, very recent.
Yes.
Wow.
That's what absolutely blew me away, was that they're
Wow.
just only now saying, can we measure joy? So scientists have been studying happiness as a fundamental driver of mental and physical health. The field of happiness psychology has exploded over past decades, and Yale University's famous online course, The Science of Well-Being, has been taken by more than 3 million people.
3 million?
Yes.
Wow.
It is based on psychology and the good life, which is one of the most popular in the university's long history.
Wow.
Simultaneously, Professor Joy, the emerging area of precision medicine has been rapidly developing diagnostics and treatments custom tailored to individuals' unique profiles and genetics. That's what we do.
Yeah.
We ask a series of questions, you answer the questions, the metrics give you a score, and we help you to improve that score. Unbelievable. Precision medicine advances have been innovating areas such as oncology, neurology, and chronic diseases. Now, precision medicine and happiness psychology are converging. Experts are finding that a critical missing ingredient of modern health research is the ability to objectively measure changes in happiness over the long term.
Wow.
Amazing.
Look at you.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Look at you.
This is unbelievable.
I told you when I found this,
Wow, this is so interesting.
absolutely unbelievable. I could not believe when I found this. So the founder of Human First, her name is Andy Coravos, Coravos. Her company, Human First, has built digital biomarker solutions for medical researchers and scientists. She works predominantly with pharmaceutical and biotechnology companies who focus on treating and preventing diseases. She was recently asked, what about joy? She was reminded that one of the most important reasons why people participate in sports and exercise is to experience the pleasurable emotions and elation associated with physical activity. It has long been known that exercise helps promote health in countless ways. In fact, there are many classic measurements and digital biomarkers in areas such as cardiovascular benefits, neurological performances, and metabolic activities. Now, researchers are looking to also measure happiness, satisfaction, and even joy as markers of well-being, disease progression, and medical treatments.
Wow, this is fascinating.
It just got deeper.
Wow.
Look
Unbelievable.
how far ahead you were in your thinking.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous.
Unbelievable. So, there are many times, well, more than any other time, when I went to OPM program of Harvard Business School. So it's a class that, a group that takes part in this for 3 years, And so during one of the classes, there's 6 professors and 6 classes every week, but one of them had us analyze ourselves based on academic, professional, financial, on and on. Some sort of Forbes magazine's formula, the same place where this article came from. So I did that, and I realized that I am in top 0.1%. I said, I would have been even shocked to be in top 1%. How did I become in top 0.1%? I said, that doesn't make any sense, because I never thought of myself to be very smart or, you know.
But you are.
So I said, I went back and rechecked all the inputs, and I said, no, I didn't lie, I didn't exaggerate. I mean, I am in top 1%, 0.4%. So I kept on thinking, there were several times this has happened to me where I am mind boggled. I said, how can it be possible? I kept on thinking and thinking and thinking. There's only one thing I can explain. That years ago, I said, look, you can have a life joyful or not joyful. I would prefer to live a joyful life. So I'm always joyful, happy. In fact, my students always found it interesting because they found it benefiting them to have this style of dealing with. In fact, one of the students came into my office, and I'm just sitting there. So I have two offices. One is the project room where I privately do my work, and one table in the middle, and then chairs around it so students can sit with me and just be equal, not like I'm behind a desk or anything. I just
Right.
at the same level. So she came in and she sat down. I said, well, what can I do for you? She said, I just want to sit here. I said, why? She said, I want to be with you. I said, why do you want me? He said, I feel good when I'm around you. And
See that?
the way you talk, you calm me down. I said, my God, I didn't know that I had that quality.
You exude joy.
So that was the second thing which surprised me, she found me calming and benefiting. But so the third time when I was mind boggled was when Kathleen, one of the brand ambassadors, asked me to buy 40 friends of hers dinner at one of the restaurants. They all worked at Knott's Berry Farm. And we gave them a questionnaire and tried to understand if there is a relationship between JoyScore and credit score. And sure there was. People who had higher credit score had higher JoyScore. And I said, how can that be possible? Because I'm working with JoyScore. I know everything about JoyScore, but I do not see any relevance between JoyScore and credit score. So then I kept on thinking, struggling with this for a few months, and then finally said, it's an obvious slam dunk, If people are going to have a good JoyScore, their life is together. They're going to have everything in life. So this article is supporting that concept. Medicine, now they are taking back. No, I was talking about, I said it's going to have a better credit score and better health score. Right there is the article supporting my dissertation.
Yes, exactly. So, when stress and anxiety were at their highest during COVID, this Human First company worked with a cross-disciplinary team of experts to figure out ways to prevent burnout among healthcare workers. Time and again, it was about finding those brief moments to foster joy and positivity and self-reflection throughout the day. Unbelievable.
Now, again, this is something which is very personal to me, joy. And when I saw DNC talking about joy, and if we as a nation can learn from DNC the meaning of joy, we'll be a different nation, because it's almost like a nation building concept. If people can learn to be joyful, they can bang anything in their life.
Right.
Anything. It's like, so when I started with Betty Edwards on this book called Designing on the Right Side of the Brain, and I learned that connecting with your right brain, you need joy. And I'll tell my students, look, this is a design class. And in my class, you have to be connected with joy. And when you're connected with joy, I can see a smile on your face. And if I don't see a smile on your face, you got to take a break and come back when you hear a smile on your face, because you need to be creative. And that's when the university student paper wrote an article that this professor kicks you out if you're not smiling. And I find it so interesting that we go back to so many years now. I've been pursuing that. Now, now you understand what teaching philosophy is.
Yes.
Every professor needs a teaching philosophy. So when I went through the RTP process for 7 years, I realized that they enjoyed my concept of joy in my teaching philosophy. And I got an award for that, which was called Meritorious Performance and Professional Promise Award, with a lot of money and prestige and everything. But it was all based on joy. And the reason I became or got into the 0.1% population in the nation was because of joy. Not because I'm very smart, it's because I'm joyful. I believe in joy. Because I said, look, if I'm going to live a life, if I'm going to do anything in life, I want to do it with joy. Might as well. Because there are two choices you have. You can choose to take the left or the right. I prefer right. Right side of the brain.
Amazing. This is from MapLight's Chief Medical Officer. Quote, blunt assessments based on patient and care partner impressions remain crucial to understanding impact on treatment effects, but objective biologic measures that add critical granularity are key. Some of these novel measurements could include happiness, empathy, well-being, and joy.
Wow.
We've begun to identify areas of the brain associated with spiritual types of experiences. These experiences are often joyful and happy and occur within and outside of traditional religions, said Rick Strassman, who is the best-selling author of DMT, the Spirit Molecule. Finally, with further clarity into human biology, researchers may discover that even the most abstract aspects of health become understandable. Medical researchers' focus is on advancing health and understanding positivity and joyfulness should be a key aspect of health and well-being.
Wow. There is something which been on my mind for a while now, and I've been struggling with it. And I learned by teaching, whenever something is not very clear to me, I talk about it. And as I talk about it, it becomes clear. I used to talk to my students, I'll just talk to them and say, hey, I have this concept and it's not resolved yet in my mind, but I'm working on it. And when I talk to them about it, it becomes clear. So lately I've been talking or thinking about this concept of spirituality of joy. Now, what do I mean by spirituality? Okay. In my way of thinking, we as human species have mastered science in every area, except spirituality of joy. See, why? I mean, to me, spirituality, people think spirituality is religion. No. Spirituality has nothing to do with religion. I mean, people who are fanatically religious, they think they're spiritual. So, no. Now, the difference between religious spirituality or understanding religion being spiritual and actual spirituality is like religion being high school and spirituality being PhD is hugely different. So what we have not yet developed in human science, and I'm going to call it human science, is spirituality of joy. And I am struggling with this concept because I believe that once we can relate to and understand the meaning of spirituality of joy, we'll be able to take this concept of joy at a much higher level of spirituality. So I have sort of done it based on what I am doing, where I have decided to pledge 51% of everything I have, JoyScore, to the charitable cause called humanity. I find that to be a spiritual act because it's beyond me. I'm not doing it for myself. I'm doing it for others. And I feel that is an act of spirituality, of joy. So I'm still working on it, but that's where I'm going.
But that is one aspect of spirituality.
Because if we can, that's the area I feel we as people involved with human science, medicine, and everything really have not attacked this concept of spirituality of joy. Because being spiritual is beyond yourself.
Your highest self.
Yes, you
your
move
higher self.
yourself to higher yourself. So anyway, that's the concept I'm interested in, and I'm still working on it.
Once again, you are years ahead of everybody else on this.
I mean, if we can crack this, in fact, I'm going to work on your paper a little more because your research is always phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
But if I can somehow make a connection with this concept that I've been struggling with, spirituality of joy, my God.
I mean, one of the things that I did not mention and everything, and I don't mean to go longer, but this human first company that
right.
And with all these digital biomarkers and everything, they've been doing clinical trials with like Pfizer and Johnson and Johnson and Roche and Merck and AbbVie and everything. I mean, our body of work that we have. I mean, if they even knew about the amount of work and information that we have.
But some of your research there could help us fine-tune our questions. We can learn from them. Because see, JoyScore concept, the book, the questions, and all that stuff is written and developed by me. But I'm no scientist. I don't have that scientific research capacity that these people do. So now we can learn from them, collaborate with them, and if nothing else, let our people, our team, look at that and see how can we influence our questions to make them better.
Yes.
So we can bring some scientific knowledge to it. That's phenomenal. That's the most beautiful thing I've ever. Wow, unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, joy is the next
My
frontier.
hat's off to you.
Joy is the next frontier. Wow. Ooh,
and DNC, my God.
Yeah.
Now, so sometimes, and this is what I believe in, okay, because when I talked, I always try to explain my ideas, concepts in the simplest possible way. And I made sure that I never deal with 3 items at a time. In fact, in the faculty meeting, I would always say, well, I can boil it down to 3 points, and they'll complain, for God's sake, can you count more than 3? I said, no, I can't. If it doesn't fit in 3, it's not useful. It's not possible, because the human mind gets frustrated if it has complex concepts. If you feed it and it's for myself, I like to understand things in a simple way, so I can explain it to others in a simple way, my students in a simple way. So I am just so fascinated with your research today. Unbelievable.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody. And we welcome you back next week for another, I hope, stimulating
Yes.
conversation with a man who was years ahead of scientific research.
So now we are going to start with our chapters of JoyScore book.
Yep. Next week we're going to
And
start
you
talking
have
about
all
our
3 books now.
Yep.
We'll start with the first one, JoyScore, the second one, Health Score, and then Earth Score.
Yep.
By doing this, we would create material from our podcasts for everybody out there be able to learn from it. I mean, they can learn from our podcasts, from our books, from our app, and we are about helping them understand JoyScore.
It's as simple as that.
Thank you.
See you next week, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Have a good trip.
Thank you.
Yeah, have fun. Oh my God.